If you have a question, raise your hand. I think we've got Mike in here as well. So we'll kick off with Tom from Football London.
Hi Mikel, point of peace, is that a fair reflection of the performance?
I think we deserve more, but that's what we got at the end. A really tough place to come. What they do it really well. Constantly putting the balls, snowballs into the last line, dealing with direct play and second actions. I think we haven't conceded anything in the game, which was really positive. We were 1-0 up, have some big opportunities running into spaces. We didn't finalize the action. Second half we started, okay, let's start good, start to dominate the game. They're going to be more aggressive, we'll have more spaces. We did the opposite, we give the ball straight to the keeper, direct play, trouble, again direct play, and the referee decides to give a penalty that changes the course of the game, which I'm here to give my opinion. And because if there is, then O'Brien has to be out and Everton has to play with 10 men. That's clear. And after that, again, dominated the game, really not get too much momentum because he's constantly breaking the play, and a big part of that was down to us because after direct play we get very cheap free kicks away. But yeah, we have two big chances to win the game. We didn't convert them, so we have to accept the point.
I feel like we've spoken a lot after games where refereeing decisions have come up this season, and obviously the gap between yourselves and Liverpool is quite significant. Do you feel as though that has played into maybe why the gap is so large this season?
Merit to Liverpool, the way they are winning their football matches. I'm talking a reflection of what happened today, what was really relevant for the score, and there's no question that apart from that they had nothing, but obviously that changes completely the momentum and the results.
Hi Mikel, it's been a few times now with Miles Lewis-Skelly in certain situations in defensive scenarios where there's been controversy. Do you think in some ways he's been targeted by referees because he's been involved in these situations in the past?
No, I don't think any referee targets a player. No.
Sam,
hello Mikel.
Hi.
Just in the team you picked, obviously a lot of first teamers or left out, and they came on at the end. Presumably that's all with Real Madrid in mind, is it?
Well, there were 4 players that could not start the game after what happened with Fulham, and obviously the injury of Gavi, so that forces you as well to make some changes, and as well because players deserve to play minutes. So I'm very happy with that. I mean, everybody has to be important, has to feel important. We have so many games coming up right now, and we have to rely on all of them.
So those players weren't. It wasn't a case of thinking, well, we've got a massive game on Tuesday.
With others might be, but not for what was happening on Tuesday, but because some of them they haven't trained, they haven't had the opportunity to start the game.
Just with Bukayo, he's obviously had 2 games off the bench now. Do you feel like he's in a position that he could start on Tuesday?
Well, he's in a much better place. Obviously, we have built that up. He played 30 minutes. Today he's played 49, a little bit less because we whistled before we end of the game. And after that, he will be in a much better place.
Can I just ask you one? Obviously, you got that big decision about who plays that left centre back without Gabriel. How did you feel Yaka did today? And also, is Ben moving back to centre back something you're thinking about with those games against Real Madrid?
Yeah, we have alternatives there today. Obviously, we had players that they haven't played together, so that cohesion hasn't been there. Ben especially hasn't played at all almost this season. So good that they have the minutes, they have that understanding, and we will assess what's the best options for that back line.
A couple up here. Jordan, Athletic.
I'll just check how Mikel Merino is feeling after the game for the head knock.
He's fine. I just checked with the doctor. I think he had a cut, so he was bleeding quite a lot in the first half. Then started again. So, but overall, he wasn't feeling anything. So good.
No other any injured?
No. Hi.
Obviously, you said something that doesn't play any part for you. You were here to do the job, but you're a very much loved former Everton player coming back to Goodison Park for the last time, just off the reports on the street. You say how difficult it is to come here to Goodison Park as an arena.
Well, I mean, I think the Premier League has got a reputation all over the world for places like Goodison Park. I think that makes unique the Premier League. So it's going to be very strange. I understand it's the evolution of football, of a football club, but this is very much part of the history of this league. And when you looks like, he said, go to Goodison Park and experience it. And unfortunately, in a few months, we're not going to have that again.
Mikel, Everton's gone now. How much excitement, how much anticipation is there among your players now, even on the journey home, about Tuesday night?
Yeah, I mean, one of the most beautiful games that you can play in football, in the highest European competition against the team that has dominated that competition in the last 20-25 years. So yeah, really looking forward to it.
And do you just rest now? Is that all you can do?
Oh, we have to train and prepare a few things, but tomorrow we'll have some time to rest and start preparing really well the game, because really looking forward to that game. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Yeah. Thank you.
Pete, we'll start with you.
David, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
You well?
Yes, thank you.
A point against a team in Premier League and Champions League contention. How satisfied have you got to be with that?
Really satisfied. We didn't start well, but we showed a little bit more in the second half, which got us back in the game. But no, it's been a difficult week. Team at the top of the Premier League, team who's second in the league, and I think we've given them both decent games.
What did you learn about your players in those 2 games?
Well, probably I'm beginning to understand them a lot more. I think they've got great resilience, the players here. You know, they stick at it. They're very committed. No, we were all disappointed and angry with each other at half time, because we started slowly, sluggishly, and made mistakes which we didn't think we would do. So we sort of tried to sort that out. Tactically, we just made a slight change in how we were going to try and press Arsenal, because we'd found it a struggle in the first half to get the ball off them at times. But we got a bit better in the second half, and great credit, we were able to get a point out of it.
35 points. Job nearly done?
Nearly done. I'm saying there. Obviously, mathematically, we're not safe yet, but I'm hoping to take a visit to the stadium this week, which would indicate that I think that we're pretty close. So I want us to keep getting ready now for Premier League football, and I know I've got a bit to do, and I hope I'm not speaking too soon.
Are you old school and want to get?
Oh, there's 70 points if I could, to be honest. But at the moment, I think when I came in a few months ago, I think if you'd given me 40 points, I'd have taken you out for a drink.
Shemaine?
Hi, David. Mikel's come in and said he's watched it 15 times and it's not a penalty. What did you make of it?
Well, I've watched it 0 times, and I couldn't tell you if it's a penalty or not, because I've not seen it back yet.
So, but it just showed Illiman's class, that he was able to tuck it away, and the general performance was excellent as well.
We've missed them, which we have, but we've missed other people as well, and we're just beginning to get players back. And thankfully, we weren't getting them back now when we were needing loads of points, and everybody was feeling under pressure. The players who've come in, whoever's played, has done a great job in getting us the points. So, got to think that we've not had Dwight, we've not had Ellie since the Liverpool game here at home. Dominic and Ambrosia as well. So they're just beginning to come back into the scene, which helps us a lot. It gave me a chance today to change it, to try and have a look at Tim as well after the game in midweek. And we had a injury to Mikel, so Pat will get a chance to play as well. So we were always thinking about making a couple of changes, but some of them were a bit enforced anyway.
I was about to ask about the changes, David. Was that also to do with the amount of work they had to do against Liverpool at Anfield the other night?
If you look at it, probably off the ball, we've had 2 games where we've had to be. No, we're not going to have all the possession, that's for sure. And we're probably having to work really hard off it. I thought Duke's done an amazing job in the work he'd done, especially at the start of the second half, him and Beto. And they needed to, because we hadn't done it particularly well in the first half. But I thought the second half we got about them much better and gave ourselves a chance.
And Carlos Alcaraz comes out to the side today. I just wonder what he has to do to earn the new contract in your eyes.
We'll see. We'll talk about contracts at another date, not today. But we just thought we had an opportunity to try and change things about, and we thought the best people for the job up at the top end was Dukes and Beto, and I thought Dukes proved that was the right choice.
Joe?
Dwight McNeil made a late cameo as well. How pleased are you to have him back, and much hope he can offer? Well, I mean, it's a bit like we've not been able to get any of the boys say games and under 21s and that at the moment, because we feel as if we want to get them closer to the first team as quick as we can, and we've done that a bit with Tim when he was on the way back, and we're doing it the same with Ellie as well, who we were not quite sure if we'd start him today, but in the end we felt that we might as well do so to get him back in it. But he pulled up, Patel having near enough his first games, pulling up with cramp in the second half as well. So all those boys are just on their way back, and Ellie's a bit the same. And who was the other one you asked me about? Sorry, did you ask me about that?
It was McNeil.
Sorry?
McNeil that I asked about. It was McNeil that I asked about, sorry.
No, that was the only other one. Sorry, I can't hear you. Sorry.
Oh, no,
that was the only one, sorry, I thought that was the one, yeah.
Final one. Hi David, you talked about a tough week playing the teams first and second in the league. Your next 3 games against the team third, fourth and fifth. You've done quite well against the top 6 so far this season. How much confidence can you take from this last week going into those tough games?
Well, you probably said it in my programme notes. I've actually looked forward to the games to see how we're going to compete. I didn't really like the first half, a lot of the stuff we've done, but I thought generally the 2 games we've tried to show we're resilience, we could stick at it. We've made chances in both games, which before I came in here was probably one of the big things that we said, how are you going to score any goals or how are you going to create any chances. Even today when we didn't play particularly well in the first half, I thought we made 1 or 2 opportunities. So yeah, I'm looking forward to playing the games, because I think that I'm having to find out about all the players and see what they can do.
Thanks.
Okay, folks, thanks very much.
Thank you.